Steven Spielberg's treatment for E.T. 2.
Nocturnal Fears.
Nocturnal Fears. Strange title. It was this treatment, and it was written like right around the time of the release of E.T. Like it was, E.T. was like a hot new movie, and the studio was like, Steven, give us a treatment for a sequel. And he produced this thing, and then all these years later we read it.
Yeah, it's kind of like his first go round of like Temple of Doom. It's like it's kind of bat crap crazy a little bit.
Yeah,
dark.
Reading it, like, I'm glad I didn't know much about it, because reading it was like a really interesting, really fun experience, and I was like envisioning the movie, and like it's
you can see it in your mind, very nicely.
Yeah, exactly, and it picks up right where the first one left off. It's like Stranger Things season 2. It's not like 10 years later, 20 years later or something. It's like there's Gertie and Elliot, and they have the speak and spell, and they're trying to contact E.T. with it.
Yeah, they got the speak and spell up on the roof of their house like a satellite dish.
Yeah,
and they keep going up and checking on it. It's like making little like noises and stuff.
Yeah, it was just like a really crazy story. And like you said, yeah, kind of batshit, like Temple of Doom. It feels like, like he wanted to go in this darker direction. Like it feels a little bit like it's leading us towards Gremlins. This like sort of, Close Encounters, this sort of like hopeful, uplifting alien visitation. And then this sort of like soft, cuddly, cute alien visitation. And then he wanted to do kind of like a scary one, like a swerve, like it's E.T., but this time it's not a cute fuzzy alien.
The like a bunch of albino ETs.
Yeah.
They got the signal from planet Earth, and they show up. They start messing with. They can like freeze animals in their tracks.
You know what else it kind of feels like? It feels like Signs, the M. Night Shyamalan movie.
I just watched that again. I'm feeling that.
I wonder if because he's such a student of film and a student of Spielberg. I wonder if he had read that and was got the wheels turning.
There was an alien in there named Zarek in Signs.
Yeah,
we got E.T.'s name shows up.
Well, that's the thing. Like it's like what, 12 pages or something. It's like a real short.
And E.T. seems to show up only in like the last paragraph.
That's what kind of blew my mind. Like it's an E.T. movie. It's E.T. 2 with like no E.T. in it. Just these evil E.T.s show up. They kidnap the kids. They do all kinds of horrible stuff. And then in Act 3, E.T. shows up like the
badass,
the gunslinger, with his finger, and then disarms these guys, and then it's the credit roll. So like, it's just so crazy, and this is not the sequel anybody wanted.
No, like those ETs are torturing. Like they have like Elliot in like a light cage, doing like they're like frying his brain in there. I don't think and ET just left.
Yeah, I wonder, like, it just seemed like, I guess maybe, like, everybody's, Spielberg and Lucas, like, everybody's marriages were falling apart. Yeah. So they go from these, like, really, like, kind of cute movies, and then all of a sudden everything gets, like, real
super dark.
Grim and dark and angry.
Yeah, great visuals. Like, I mean, those creatures would be, cool to see on the big screen. But we have the other, like, I think it's like Dark Skies or Watch the Sky. I can't remember which one it is, but it was the John Sayles screenplay that like Spielberg Matheson read that like spawned E.T. and Poltergeist. Like, so we should do that one down the road with like the evil aliens invading like that farmhouse.
Yeah. They're coming to Earth and they're looking for some kind of like, I don't know, fugitive alien or something. And his name is Zarek. Now, they don't spell out that that's E.T. Like, I assume that E.T. is Zarek, this fugitive, but I guess that's the explanation. If Zarek is the fugitive that is E.T., then that kind of explains how E.T. got to Earth. But it doesn't really line up with the first movie, because the first movie, it looks like they're part of some kind of like ecological exploration and stuff, but not like, I'm on the run and I'm hiding out on this planet. It's like a family of traveling ecologists, and E.T. is like their son, He's just kind of playing. It's like Home Alone. He's just kind of like playing, and then they like leave without him.
They're like, Zarek!
You took it to mean Zarek is E.T., and I took it to mean Zarek. So I don't know if there's some like definitive thing, like Spielberg said, like, his name's Zarek.
I call E.T. Zarek from now on.
Also, the title is so weird, like Nocturnal. It was Nocturnal Fears.
Nocturnal Fear Missions.
Yeah, yeah, Nocturnal Emissions. It's such a strange title, and it made me wonder if, like, trying to figure out like what made E.T. like E.T. And it's like, well, E.T. has a weird title. Like E.T. is a weird. It's because it's E.T. the extraterrestrial. So it's like E.T. and then some like weird series of words that like nobody's really heard or thought about before.
Extraterrestrial, the extraterrestrial.
Yeah, a Mac card. Yeah, the fact that Nocturnal Fears. Like, all you can think of is Nocturnal Emissions when you hear that title. And then extraterrestrial, extra testicle. Like, that's all you can...
I think we love uncovering these, like, historical cinematic nuggets. And I'm glad we got to read it. Like...
Yeah, because it was, like, we never got an E.T. 2. So many things of that era, we got sequels. Never got an E.T. 2. We got, like an E.T. commercial where he like teams back up with Elliot 15 years later.
I remember that. I think it was like DirecTV or Dish Network. It was one of those.
And it's just interesting. We never like it was like the movie was such a hit and such a phenomenon, and we never. But again, it's like I guess that is it for the story. And if you want a sequel, you're just gonna have to create like a complete just a completely different story because there's nothing left to tell of this story. So
didn't the E.T. aliens show up in like episode 1 in like the in when they did that shot of like the giant like what the hell was that?
The pod race.
The pod race, or when there was like a court or something when all these people were
Galactic
Senate.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe like E.T. was in the audience of the pod races,
or,
but no.
Or a pod racer.
I think right.
Oh my god!
E.T. did make his way.
E.T.'s in the pod race in like a NASCAR, but he's got like Reese's Pieces as his sponsor. He's wearing like a Reese's Pieces jumpsuit for his pod.
So I enjoyed it. I got to have the E.T. sequel running in my head, and all it cost was Spielberg and his writing partner got just had to write 9 pages and didn't have to spend like any more money for me to get this like ET sequel in my head. But I was wondering like what is he thinking with this? And I thought, you know what, because it seems so bizarre, but I'm like, he's Steven Spielberg, he probably knows like, okay, here's
the suits,
here's the skeleton, here's the story, just the very big, because it's got like all the beats you need for a movie, and that like Spielberg knew that he could like turn this into a great movie. Like this is just what you need just to get the ball rolling. But he could turn that thing into a great movie, and it showed where he was going. But then, like, as I did some more digging, reading about it, it sounds like people seem to think that it was like sabotage.
Yeah, like he was like either obligated or they were begging him for something. He's like, try this on for size.
Yeah, it was just to like shut them up, and that he basically wrote like an unfilmable E.T. sequel, or at least not unfilmable, but like we were saying, like an E.T. sequel that nobody wants. What? The suits don't want it. The fans don't want it. I mean, like us now, decades later, as like goofballs or whatever, like we would want it now. Yeah. But like when we were kids, it's like if you went into the theater, like,
I'd start crying. Probably,
you're like, yeah, that's not what you want.
They're like slapping around Zarek. He's got like a convertible with like dice in the mirror and stuff.
and so it's that explanation seems kind of consistent because Spielberg has had no interest in returning to that property. He kind of did everything he was going to do with it, said everything he wanted to say. And if you want a sequel, here's your fucking sequel. Choke on
this. He's like, try this on for size. Jerky, he like throws it on like at his desk or whatever. Spielberg's like, I'll be back in my office on the Universal lot.
Yeah, like I'm just trying to think about sequels because like they did a bunch of Indiana Jones sequels.
He's so precious with this one particularly because he did even Jurassic Park too.
You know what?
The Lost World.
He also, and it's interesting because Jurassic Park 2 was kind of like a shit. It was kind of shit. But probably around this time, he's kind of seeing what's become of like Jaws with all the sequels and stuff. So it's like, yeah, let's like nip this thing in the bud.
What if, he came back for Crystal Skull? What if Spielberg comes back for another? Wouldn't that be insane if he came back for another Jaws movie? Like,
yeah, I'm curious. I mean, he's doing a sequel to a movie he didn't even direct. Like, he's doing Twisters is his next thing.
Wow.
So it is kind of interesting to me. I mean, it's just, it's remarkable for somebody to have like a career that spans that many decades and stuff. So
we need to cover this summer Jaws 2. It's like one of the original slasher movies.
Right, yeah.
It's like it has all the trappings of it sets the template for a slasher before slasher movies. It's a cool. Jaws takes a helicopter down.
Wow. Yeah, it is kind of cool because I have not seen Jaws 2.
Oh,
so
you're
I've
in
seen
for a
Jaws
treat
3, and I've seen Jaws, but I haven't seen Jaws 2.
I hope no one has any nocturnal fears.
Yeah, I'm gonna be at Heroes Con this week in Charlotte, North Carolina, from Friday to Sunday. So hope to see you there.
I'm Matt Zeoli.
We'll see you at the theater for ET2, Nocturnal Fears.